today. The two ideas we're going to discuss are ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. So please stay with me until the end so that you will learn and understand these two conflicting concepts. Culture is a force in the world that shapes human behavior as surely as biology and family. So we may define culture as beliefs, values, and attitudes of a social group that are passed along from one generation of people to the next. Now, is it possible to have the best culture? To have the best religion? The answer to that, of course, depends on which point of view you want to take, either ethnocentrism or cultural relativism. Ethnocentrism has become the major divisions amongst members of different ethnicities, races, and religious groups in the society. So it is the belief of superiority as one's personal ethnic group that also can develop from racial or religious differences. So individuals who practice ethnocentrism are called ethnocentric. They believe that they are better than other individuals for reasons based solely on their heritage or culture, and most importantly, their religion. So probably this practice is related to problems of both racism and prejudice. While there are many people that may recognize the problems, they may not realize that ethnocentrism occurs everywhere and every day. So for example, the first picture represents a black man. Let's conclude that he is John. Let's try to imagine John in a situation when store owners or mall cops follow John or any persons of a certain color around because they think that that person might steal. They think that John might steal because of his color, because of his race, because of who he is and where he came from. We often see situations like this either in social media where people are experimenting people or based in real-life happenings that we witness. So we talk about written Hebrew as reading backward as depicted in the second picture. So as an ethnocentric individual, you will oppose to that and ask, why not just say from right to left or in the opposite direction from English? Because as you know, Hebrew's writing system is from right to left, which is in the contrary in English writing system. Another example, so let's go back to John's for instance. So John is an ethnocentric, so he is no longer a victim, so he considers others' beliefs and practices to be savage or corrupt, or he is often confused by other people's culture. So very often, people that are ethnocentric don't know they are using their own culture to judge another's. So thinking that your own culture is better than another. So during the early days of contact between different cultures, ethnocentrism was the norm. It is an idea that thinking that your own culture is the main standard by measuring another cultures. So now let's go to cultural relativism. It is a competing idea, more likely a response to ethnocentrism. So it is the belief that the culture of people serves particular needs and must be looked at in terms of the world the people inhabit or used to. So this is often the perspective of social scientists who work with people and is the result of the work of anthropologist Franz Boas. So this is based on a concept that there is no ultimate standard of good and evil. So this means that judgment for what is right and wrong are all societal constructs. The concept also entails that any opinion or morality or ethics is subjective to cultural perspective. It means that with this, no moral or ethical stand an individual has can be considered as right or wrong. In short, cultural relativism is the ability to understand a culture on its own terms and not to make judgments using the standards of one's own culture. So it is the idea that a person's belief should not be judged to use others. So the moral or ethical ideologies that differ from culture to culture are equally valid. There is no ideology that is better than another. So the differences between cultures to cultures are balanced, accepted, and valid. So for example, instance, Cassidy is a cultural relativist. So a person or individuals who practice this concept is called cultural relativist. So she prefers to look at others' cultures in terms of what their practices bring to them. So she believes that if a tribe paints their faces for religious ceremonies, there must be a good reason why they are doing that. There must be a practical reason or symbolic reason why they are doing that. Now, if there is a symbolic reason, they will ask, where do the symbols come from? Who originated this culture? Who brought this culture? So these questions allow a closer examination of the practices of others than ethnocentrism. So this does not imply that a relativist like Cassidy does not have strong beliefs on her own. Just because you practice cultural relativism it does not mean that you have less belief in your own culture or religion. Rather, other cultures are simply not judged by you with the reference to one's own culture. Again, this is often has to be trained into people. So for us to live in harmony, we need to practice and inculcate this concept to the young generation so that they will accept, respect, and recognize that judging others has never made a good outcome. So remember what Audre Lorde says, it is not our differences that divides us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. We are the same because we are all human beings. We are also the same because we are all different. We just need to recognize, accept, celebrate, and respect those differences. So thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time learning with me. So this is your study companion, Javel May Ichavia.